Hey folks, Matt from artoftheimage.com. Following up on our last video, the four most compelling, four most interesting features I think that are on the Canon 7D Mark II, or that are, part of the 7D Mark II. I want to give you the four things that I think Canon got wrong. I'm not going to really call them mistakes, although you could. We're going to say things that I think should have happened to the 7D Mark II to make it a better camera. So we'll go with things that Canon got wrong, in my humble opinion. Number one, no articulated screen. This is getting to be a no-brainer. All new cameras should be coming out with an articulated screen. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, well, that makes it a flawed camera. It's a weak point. And that's just not the case. I mean, look at the Panasonic GH series. I'm filming this right now with a GH3, and I've never ever had a problem with any of my cameras with articulated screens. And I like the fully articulated screens, the ones that flip right around. Right now I can see myself while I'm filming this, and it just gives you a really good ability, especially when you're filming yourself for like a situation like this, that you know what's going on, if there's a problem, if something's changed, the focus is good, etc., etc. Number two, no 4K. This is the way of the future. This is the way cameras are going. If you want to compete in the video market with cameras, which is what a huge segment of the camera sales are related to, a huge amount of people now want the video capability in their camera, as opposed to even a few years ago when people didn't really care about it. 4K is now where it's at. More and more cameras are coming out with 4K, and if your newly released camera does not have 4K, that's a fail, folks. You want to future-proof your camera, you want to make it a decent camera for the foreseeable future, and this is a new release, the 7D Mark II. Canon's going to want, probably, especially based on how long it took them to release the Mark II from the original 7D, you'd think they're going to want to sell this camera for a few years, and with no 4K, it's already crippled. Big mistake, I think, on Canon's part. Next up, it's not mirrorless. Now, this, you could argue, I guess some people say, well, it's not meant to be a mirrorless camera, but the way of the future, I think, is going to be mirrorless cameras. The only things that are still gaining traction are Sony and Olympus and Panasonic, and the other mirrorless. DSLR sales are on the downturn. Certainly by no means are they gone. I mean, Canon, Nikon are still selling a lot of DSLRs. But if you really wanted to make this camera innovative, wanted to, cause a row, cause a lot of sales, cause a lot of talk about it, you should have made it mirrorless. It's the way of the future. EVFs are there and beyond there now. There are, the newest EVFs on the top cameras like the GH4 and the EM1 are, and in the Sony stuff as well, are better than, in my opinion, having an optical viewfinder, because they offer advantages such as knowing right away what your exposure is and whether it's off. In any case, I think that it would have been really a good idea on Canon's part to have made the 7D Mark II mirrorless. Number four, and perhaps one of the biggest concerns with the 7D Mark II, is no sensor update, no real sensor update. I know they've said it's a reworked sensor, but it's essentially the same old sensor, same old amount of megapixels that we've had for a long, long time in the Canon lineup. Canon seems to have really got behind the times and really dropped the ball on sensor updates. They don't have anything to compete with the higher end, higher megapixel sensors of Sony and Nikon, and it's about time that they got back out in front. And Canon used to be the top of the pile for sensors, and lately they just seem to have lost that, and I don't know why. With a big flagship APC camera, APS-C camera like this, that they wouldn't have come out with a newer, more updated sensor. This should have been at least 24 megapixels. Would have been nice to see 28 or 30, and along with that, class-leading ISO, high ISO, and dynamic range and whatnot for an APS-C camera. So that's the fourth letdown right there. Those are the four things that I think Canon got wrong with the 7D Mark II. What do you guys think? Do you disagree with me? You got some more you think should be added? Put them in the comments below. Let's have a discussion on what Canon got wrong, what they could have done better with the Canon 7D Mark II. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon with some new videos, some new articles. We'll keep up to date with what's going on in the world of photography, videography, and technology right here at artoftheimage.com. Thanks a lot, folks.